Hello, welcome back. I'm still here, still kicking it. I'm sorry it's been a minute since I last posted. It has just been, this transitional period has been quite the adventure, to say the least, and I have been simultaneously very busy and not very busy at the same time, just trying to ride the waves and trying to trust my journey and ride the waves and trust that I am going to get to where I need to be in good time. So I've been practicing a lot of patience and I am hoping that this is the lowest valley I'll ever drop into, because honestly it has been tough, it has been rough, but I get up every day and I just try to be productive, taking one step forward at a time, and sometimes not taking a step forward, sometimes just sitting in stillness and being in the present and taking it in for what it is, and recognizing that, reminding myself that this is part of the journey and it's going to be okay, and trying to reflect on everything and what I can take moving forward, what I have learned in this process. So don't worry, I haven't given up on the journaling things. I'm sorry I haven't been there for you if you needed me, but I really needed to take some time and space to myself to, just recenter and come back to myself and come back to my inner equilibrium. So I definitely will be posting more journaling stuff soon enough. But for now, the reason I decided to hop on was because I'd seen a post on Threads recently that caught my attention, and I felt like it was something that I could speak on and maybe help give others insight. I haven't forgotten about the journaling content. There will definitely be more. I just haven't been in the right headspace to share that type of content recently, but I'm slowly coming back to it and am excited to continue that journey as well. So what inspired me to come back on today was this post on Threads seeking advice on creating an app they had an idea for, and which they believed do not exist. In one of their responses, they mentioned being scared to go on Fiverr because what stops anyone from just stealing the product? This post made me think about all the people that I have heard make these types of comments or express these kinds of fears going into entrepreneurship and creating a product or a new service for the first time. And it just gave me the urge to want to come and talk about it. I've been in the entrepreneurial and startup world for quite a while now. Being immersed in this environment, there are many misconceptions that we brush off as like, that's obviously common sense, like no one thinks that anymore. But reading this Threads post and seeing a lot of the responses and just realizing that so many people still hold these misconceptions inspired me to make this video to share some insight and hopefully help some people in the start of their journey. So I did a little more research, just kind of looking online and thinking back on conversations that I've had with people in the past year who are just about to start on their entrepreneurial journey, and I put together a list of just the 4 most common fallacies that I have encountered and wanted to share it with you and hopefully give you some insight and guidance, and in some ways to help you be not so scared to take the leap, and in other ways to scare you a little to make sure you really understand what you're getting into. We are in the midst of winter. The days are short, the sun moves very quickly. This is probably not the most ideal place to film out here where I am. It was good while it lasted. Anyway, the show goes on. Okay, so to give you a little background on my street cred, so to speak, my last venture was a marketplace called Toddly that had advanced matching technology with plans to expand into incorporating machine learning features in the future. I was selected to be part of a small cohort in the Research to Social Innovation Incubator at the University of Calgary, which was funded by Innovate Calgary. And prior to that, I had participated in an accelerator program through Platform Calgary. I was also selected among the top 10 to pitch at the Women Leading Social Impact held by TELUS CSW. So that's a little about me. All right, so here are the 4 most common fallacies that I want to squash, especially if you're just getting started. Number 1, thinking you've come up with something super novel or special, and worrying about something or some corporate entity stealing your idea. I have 2 points to make about this. One, it is very unlikely no one has thought of the same idea or tried something similar. You just don't know about it. This is one of the most common ones that I've come across, like, in my lifetime. You hear this all the time, like, there's nothing like this out there, or yeah, there's something similar, but mine's gonna have like this one other feature that no other app like this has. Yes, that might be the case, but have you stopped to think about why that might be the case? Have you done enough discovery to understand why that doesn't already exist? And if it did, have you researched enough on why exactly it failed? Have you done enough discovery to truly understand the challenges that you may face and what might cause setbacks? Because this is crucial. It is so easy to think like, oh, I would use it, or oh, I know 100 people that would use it, or who wouldn't use this. But really, like, the chances of you getting lucky with that thought is very, very, very low. The point here is that you need to do way more discovery than you think, and you need to continuously do discovery even as you are creating your product. This is so, so important. Because even nothing, status quo, is a form of competition. Point number 2 on this one. If you've ever created a product from scratch, you know how hard it is to actually execute. So no, it is not easy for people to just steal your ideas. And if it is, you would best be more concerned about executing well. But don't forget about speed, because speed matters too. Your prototype is not going to be perfect. It shouldn't be what you think is perfect, but that's another thing. Sometimes you just need to get yourself out there to do that, to be able to do that ongoing discovery. Execution and market fit are what determine success more than the initial idea itself. I promise you. An idea alone is not enough. Most successful businesses aren't built on ideas alone, but unique insights, understanding customer needs, strong execution, and adaptability in the market. Some questions that I like to ask people when they're talking about a new idea is, what unique value are you bringing that your competitors don't? This includes status quo of nothing. Are you filling a very specific gap that they missed, and can you articulate that well? How does your execution plan differ? And what evidence do you have that your approach is more sustainable? Sustainability of a business is a huge one. This is a lesson that I've also had to learn the hard way, because I was so passionate about what I was creating and didn't really workshop how sustainably scalable the business was. Fallacy number 2, if you build it, they will come. You think your idea is so great, helpful, valuable. Obviously, people will convert when they launch. They would be stupid not to. Remember when I said that status quo, doing nothing, is a form of competition? Without effective marketing, community engagement, and proper positioning, even the best products will go unnoticed. People are bombarded with things that they can buy every day. Not just things, but services as well. The truth is, most people are not going to go out of their way to find, use, or purchase your product. This ties into what good mentors and coaches consistently share. The journey is going to be longer and harder than you think. This is a reality I have had to face over and over and over again. Even those of us who are experienced go into new ventures knowing that it's going to be difficult, knowing that things are going to take longer than we expect them to. But you still never know how hard it is until things get really, really hard. It's not something anyone can tell you, because there's always this part of you that is like, I got this, and I cannot tell you how hard it can be. But you have to find that drive in you, that willpower, that little bit of delusion that helps push you forward in these times. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. It is this low-key delusional belief and some reasonable confidence that helps us move things along. This genuine idea that we know how hard it is, but no one really knows what that hard feels like until they go through it. And yes, this is a little bit to scare you, because this is truly not for everyone. If you still decide to forge ahead despite this warning, I love it. Do it. It's the ride of a lifetime, and it is the ultimate self-development experience. Okay, fallacy number 3. I'm the customer, I would buy this. Assuming that because you and 10, maybe even 100 other people like this idea, and that the market will too, is a very common error. Again, you need to do more discovery. Real people have different needs, preferences, or price sensitivities, and the only way to truly understand your customers is through research and a feedback loop. And while you might think you have a large market, not everyone in that market will want your particular solution. And this will really depend on their perceived need for your product. There's nothing wrong with having to educate people on why they should want it, but it adds complexity and requires extra time and resources to build awareness before adoption. Okay, common fallacy number 4, the positive feedback deluluuuu. This one might be specific to Canada, but let me tell you, if you live in Canada, almost everyone will respond in a positive way towards things that people are working on. They might tell you, oh, it's just not for me, but I can definitely see other people using it. But rarely will people tell you that your idea is trash, even if they're thinking it. This is obviously problematic when you're trying to get honest opinions on what you're working on, which is why, again, proper discovery is critical. First, you need to make sure you're talking to the people you actually envision paying for your product or service. And even then, it's easy for people to say that they'd pay for something when there's nothing to buy yet. Which ties into the second point, which is that wording of questions is also very important in the discovery that you run, whether that's surveys, casual interviews, or focus groups. That's a whole other thing we're not going to get into this video. So those are 4 of the most common fallacies that many first-time entrepreneurs fall into. It's not embarrassing. The key is to stay curious, be open to feedback, especially from those who have been down similar roads, and get dirty with execution over perfection. Building something meaningful takes more than a great idea. It's about understanding your market, solving real problems, and being relentless in your pursuit of creating value. Like I said, they're common, so don't be embarrassed if you've fallen into one of these misconceptions. I think especially for those of us who have had the opportunity to participate in accelerators or incubators, we are very quickly brought down to earth by our mentors and coaches and pulled out of these fallacies. And I realized that not everyone has that opportunity. So this is my way of giving back, because I have gained so much from participating in those programs. And if you ever have the opportunity to participate in these types of programs, take it, because it is seriously so valuable. Not all mentors and coaches are the same, and like any relationship, you hope that you get the right fit or that you find the right fit. But I would say overall, the things that you are taught and the exercises and workshops that you go through in these programs can be so helpful and really help you push forward in a way that really sets you up for success, reinforces critical thinking so that you don't get too hyper-focused on something that you probably shouldn't be, and that you don't overlook other things. Another obvious benefit of joining these programs is the community of people that are, on the same journey as you, or similar journeys. The road to building something great isn't paved with perfect ideas, but with persistence, curiosity, and the courage to keep going when things get tough. And when we say keep going when things get tough, it doesn't mean to hold on to something like a baby. It's also understanding when to let go and to move on to the next idea. I hope you enjoyed today's random video about entrepreneurship and the common fallacies that people fall into. It was great to be back online, and I will definitely be back with the next journaling episode soon, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for being here, and as always, I hope you have a great day. It is Sunday, so I am taking it easy and heading over to a girlfriend's place, having a girls' night, making dinner together, so I'm looking forward to that. Wherever you are, I wish you peace, always.